Hello everybody, Daniel here. It's Sunday. We're on Showdown. Welcome back to Showdown Sunday, competitive Pokemon battling every Sunday, every week, moving forward. Oh, I've missed this. It's been so long since I've actually been able to properly get back into Pokemon. The competitive side of things though for Pokemon, because X and Y is now established 2 months, this is really a good, strong indication of a metagame actually emerging now, which is fantastic news. Although, I gotta admit, this is probably the most open metagame we've had compared to previous ones, because you just got so many options. We've gotten to the stage now with Pokemon where it's near impossible to actually construct a team where you can effectively counter every single threat. Like, you just can't, because there's too many of them now. And I love that kind of state of play, because it means you've really got to think on your feet a lot more, and you've really just got to focus when you're actually in battles. Like the adrenaline rush I'm now getting from just 6th-gen battles, oh my god, it's fantastic. But yes, welcome back to Showdown Sunday, competitive 6th-gen battling. Let's have a look at our first team. There's no team bio that I was planning for this team, because it is the first one. But there will be moving forward. There will be kind of like a preview video of the team. For the first one though, let's just have a look at it in our traditional fashion. So, the stars of this team, you may already see them here. This Tyranitar and this Azumarill. I'm running a Mega Tyranitar with Dragon Dance. This is fearsome, alright? This thing is bloody ridiculous in regards to power. Because with Tyranitar's Mega Evolution, he goes up to a base stat total of 700, alright? After a Dragon Dance, his base attack stat, that's 225. That's a lot. Like, that, honest to God, is loads. And of course his speed just goes through the roof because he has Dragon Dance, and this is actually a Jolly Nature Tyranitar as well. This thing outspeeds Gengars and Jolteons. Like, this is incredible. I absolutely love this, and it's just so destructive. Like, this absolutely destroys team. I'm running the standard Stone Edge and Crunch on it. The reason I have Brick Break over the traditional Fire Punch is because Fire Punch is not released yet, so I am trying to keep in accordance to that. And it's actually quite handy for the occasional Greninja. And then, of course, our co-star of this show, Azumarill. The fearsome Belly Jet Azumarill. You've probably seen this about the place. Everyone's been experimenting with this guy. I absolutely love him. Like, I freaking love Azumarill. I'm so glad that he's now got the fairy typing. This set is just so destructive. As soon as you belly drum, you're on ×4 attack. You then have priority Aqua Jet and then Play Rough on top of that. Combined with huge power, you're just not gonna live. Like, you just aren't. You're going to die. Like, oh my god. Wait a second. Sorry, I just... Huh? Okay, that was actually quite weird. I never noticed that, but okay, I've been dabbling with a very defensive oddly Azumarill. I don't know, that was a mistake on my part. My apologies. It does kind of question how I've been using Azumarill up to this point, but dear god, okay. But yes, Belly Jet Azumarill. This guy is extremely powerful, and this is a major threat. I'm really concerned if this guy's actually going to be banned, because if you don't know already, Smogon has already banned the Gengarite, Blaziken, banned once again, and the Kangaskhan Knight was actually banned just the other day. So I'm not too sure about our friend Azumarill here, because Belly Jet Azumarill, it's so powerful. You need a very specific counter to actually deal with it. Like, even traditional things like a Jellicent or something, thanks to Play Rough, that's just going to be destroyed. There's very few things that can actually take this effectively. So it's just so destructive. And I use, of course, the Tyranitar and the Azumarill together, because it pretty much means there's no real wall that they can't get through. Like, they're fantastic together. I absolutely love that. I did have my Jolteon here, which is actually inspired by a Jolteon I got in my X and Y playthrough. It has Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, and Yawn. Yawn in this is actually really handy. It's something I've been kind of experimenting with, but it, honestly God, is very handy. It gives me a great amount of switch advantage coupled with Volt Switch, and it helps me for getting in my Tyranitar and Azumarill into play, so I really like how this set's coming out. And then, our set of keys, the fearsome Jingle Jingle Dragons. I am a fairy, and I will slay you all. Klefki. Oh god, freaking love Klefki. This guy is essentially running a Leopard 2.0 set. So it's a standard T-Wave, Swagger, Substitute, and Foul Play. It's much better, well, preferred than Leopard though, because of the Steel Fairy typing, which is really good typing. That gives you a lot of nice resist. Very happy with that. And yeah, this thing is just really handy. It's also my defensive wall on the team, so I have to do counting it. And then I have this Excadrill here. This is a pretty standard set. I just need some for spin support. I do intend on actually switching that up to default, because I don't actually have any hazards on this team. possibly swatch it out with a Gliscor or something. I'm not too sure yet. But yeah, it's just a standard set. Earthquake, Rock Slide, Rapid Spin, and Sword Stance. It's actually got an air balloon on it as well, because I don't really have much in the way of Levitate. And the Ditto. So you may have seen on this team, I don't even have a special wall. I lack in a couple of hazards. I'm lacking an awful lot of defenses that you would need. Like, this is a very offensively inclined team. The Ditto is what makes up for this, and it keeps me on the offensive as well. So suppose, for example, a Rotom switches in. I don't exactly have a counter for Rotom, bar possibly the Jolteon, but even that doesn't take it nicely. Hydro Pump on that instead. The Ditto is my counter for things like that. And this thing, like, you've no idea how many times this has saved my life. This is really handy, and I'm so happy to have this. And of course, Ditto with Choice Scarf now as well. You can imposter a Mega Evolution. That is awesome. Like, that just is so cool. The amount of times like Gengar maybe switch in, terrorizing your team or something. Switch in your Choice Scarf Ditto. It's now got Shadow Tag. The opposing Gengar can't run, and you've got a Mega Evolution with a Choice Scarf. That's really fearful. Like, that's really powerful. So I absolutely love how that's turned out. But yes, that's babbling about the team done. This is the first team I've used that's been very effective for me. Let's get on to our first battle. Okay, and our first battle. Dear God, you can mistake this for almost a Gen 5 competitive team. You honestly God could. Okay, well that's probably... well actually that could be any sort of Haxorus. I don't know where I'm even starting with this. Okay, let's see. Well, the obvious lead is definitely the Rotom, because that's going to have Volt Switch. And again, nothing on my team particularly takes a Rotom that well. The Haxorus, I'm going to guess, is either Choice Scarf set or Dragon Dance of some variety. The Lucario... Okay, the Mega could be the Lucario Tyranitar. That's something that we actually now have to very much worry about which one is the Mega, because that will determine quite a bit. The Alakazam is probably just a standard late Sash kind of game Pokemon. And that Mamoswine, not really sure why it's that. This is just an odd looking team in general. It's very Gen 5 looking. It's just throwing me off just ever so slightly. Well, okay, so the only thing that will resist the Jolteon's Volt Switch is the Mamoswine, and I do have Yawn, so I actually am going to leave with this. If he wants to leave with his Rotom, then I should be fine here. He actually does leave with the Mamoswine, so this is fine with me. So, he's either going to go for the Stealth Rock here, or just straight up for the Earthquake. No reason for him to Ice Shard or anything ridiculous or fancy like that. So, with that in mind, what I can probably do is go straight out into my Excadrill. I'm worried that this thing might have the Sash as well as the Alakazam. I'm not terribly sure. So, for that reason, I'm just going to go into this guy. Now, I may lose my Air Balloon here. It'll be a bit problematic, though, actually, if I lose that. I have to decide what move I actually want to go for here. The nice thing is, well, this thing has Mold Breaker, so if he switches in his Rotom to counter this, then that means I can actually take it clean out. I just want to get a bit of chip damage off in this Mamoswine right now, though. I don't mind if I lose my Balloon, because in case it has the Sash, sure enough, he's actually just going to go for the Ice Shard here. And that reveals to me that he does in fact actually have a Life Orb, so that's good information, that's fine with me. Okay, so we know what he's kind of go for. He's going to definitely go for the Earthquake next, which kind of makes me regret my last play ever so slightly, just bearing that in mind. This is one thing that the team does suffer on. It needs more flying support. But okay, we can play around this though. I don't want to have to start sacking stuff. Dear God, that's not something you want to do on turn 3. Your battle's not going well if you have to go to that. I could switch in a Azumarill. He will take a lot of damage, but I could then go for an Actor. Although the Mamoswine, it probably is faster. Now that I think about it, what I'm going to have to do here is I'm going to actually have to go for the Ditto. Now, I should be able to take the Earthquake, even if he goes for it. He actually goes for the Ice Shard, which is a bit weird for him to keep going for it. Okay, because I know he's drawn the Life Orb. That's just a bit odd. Okay, I'm not going to complain about that. We could actually take an opportunity to get our Stealth Rocks up here. Just predicting the switch. As much as I would like to do that, if this Mamoswine stays in and goes for another Earthquake on me, that's really going to hurt me, so I don't want to chance that. I think my safest play at the moment, I don't want to go for the Ice Shard. And he does have that Rotom, which is very tempting for him to switch in. I'm just going to go for an Icicle Crash. And sure enough, he does actually go to the Rotom here, so we got that fine. Just a bit of chip damage off him that. That's handy. Okay, so I don't think he's going to be one of these ballsy people who goes for the Volt Switch on the Mamoswine. That's very ballsy, which means that he's probably going to go straight for the Hydro Pump. The problem with Hydro Pump is our Ditto is the counter to this thing, which means that we are going to take a fair bit of damage no matter what this guy decides to do. And I'm not so inclined to switch in my Azumarill directly, because he could just go for the Will-O-Wisp, which would be disastrous. So for that reason, predicting the Willow here, I'm actually going to go straight into my Jolteon here. And sure enough, he does actually go for the Willow here, so that was a good play on our part. It means we don't have to worry about that. Now then, what's he going to want to do? Well, a good plan on his part would be to switch directly into his Mamoswine, predicting the electric type attack, because that's the only thing that can really take it. So, with that in mind, what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to set up switch advantage. I'm going to go for a Yawn here, and he's actually going to stay in with his Rotom, so this actually works fine for me. I know I've taken just quite a bit of damage there with my Jolteon, but I do know now that he is most definitely going to switch out. His ideal candidate is probably that Mamoswine. So, what I'm going to do here is, because I want to sack this Jolteon at this point, I'm going to go for a second Yawn. Because I want this thing just dead at this point. I don't really care if he just takes me out, and sure enough, actually, after the Ice Shard here, he will be in a position where he can just kill me outright. The burn has chipped me away. My reason for just sacking this guy is if I can sack him on the end of a Yawn, it means I can switch either into my Tyranitar or my Azumarill, and I can start setting up. So that'll give me a huge advantage there. So yeah, I'm just going to go for another Yawn. I don't really care what he does to me. He's probably just going to Ice Shard and finish me off at this stage. I'm not too sure. Possibly he's going to catch on to what I'm actually doing here. And maybe not, actually. He's just going to go for the Ice Shard here. This puts me in an ideal setup. His Mamoswine is asleep. Now then, the question is, what do we want to start setting up all over his face to absolutely destroy? A nice thing here as well is, by the way, he has his Lucario here, so if we go to our Tyranitar, we have Brick Break access. I'm more inclined to go to for the Azumarill whenever I can, though, because Azumarill is just such a powerhouse, like, even compared to Mega Tyranitar. I think in this scenario, though, just because I have access to Brick Break, and even a Crunch, like, from a +1 Tyranitar, that should be enough to kill the Rotom unless it's hugely invested in, like, defense. I am going to go straight for my Tyranitar, and I'm going to get off a Mega here. And yeah, we've really got to hope that this Rotom does die instantly, because we can't afford to get him to get the Will-O-Wisp off. This is fantastic! Oh, God. Okay, so we managed to get that off safely here, so he's just kind of leaving this guy for fodder. Do I want to chance another hit, so just to make sure that I kill everything? Now, you see, the question is, if his Alakazam still has the Sash, right? That means I'm not going to be able to do a clean sweep of his team. So I'm not going to get greedy here and kind of bank on him getting that again. I am just going to go straight for the Crunch here. He may realize that he wants to fodder his Mamoswine. He may just fodder it here. But I'm not going to get greedy, because that's happened to me a couple of times before. I'm not going to just outstay my welcome. I'm just going to take this thing out. You could try and predict that he wakes up with the Earthquake. Sure enough, actually, he's just going to stay there. That's fine with me. I just don't want to chance that. His Mamoswine is dealt with anyway now, so that's a good start. The Rotom is the main thing that I want to get rid of on his team, but we're in a very nice position here where we can pretty much take out most of his team, barrel the Rotom in one hit. Again, it depends on what way it's invested. If it's a purely offensive Rotom, then we should be able to just take it clean out. Let us go for the Crunch in this Alakazam. We should be faster than this. This actually maybe is Mega, I forgot about that. No, sure enough, it's actually the Sash. Let's see him go for that Focus Blast. Oh, that's actually a real shame. You see, I've had a scenario, I believe... Actually, wait, did I have a light... Okay, sorry, I'm trying to remember. There's a scenario where I lived a Focus Blast or something with that Tyranitar. It's because it's just got so much special defense. It wasn't that case, though. It wasn't. Okay, so we did lose him there, though. That's not too much of a problem, though. We can just work around here. So we do have our Azumarill here, who does have Aqua Jet, which is fine. I'm probably just going to have to go straight for... As much as I'd like to set up a Belly Drum, I am probably just going to have to go straight for this. The reason being that he might have access to Energy Ball, so I'm just going to go straight for the Aqua Jet. Even without the Belly Drum here, we should be okay here, though, because we can still do a fair amount of damage to everything on his team, really. So let's just take out this thing and get it dealt with. We still also do have switch, well, a nice and easy switch to our Ditto if he goes through his Rotom at any stage. So that's fine, I'm not too worried about that. But yeah, Azumarill can pretty much take out everything else that's on his team. Like, with a good player off, and of course we do have Superpower as well, just to deal with the Lucario. So I am not too worried right now. And he is actually going to go straight for the Rotom here, so we can get a decent amount of damage off on him. And... oh, okay, right, so he does not have the leftovers. He did go for the Will-O-Wisp earlier, but he doesn't seem to have the leftovers, which begs the question. I'm going to scroll up here, and I'm going to see... okay, right, yeah. Okay, right, so he's not Choice. Okay, I just have to confirm that in my head there. Right, so I'm not entirely sure what set his Rotom's going to be running. For definite, though, he's got some sort of Electric Stab, so I really want to get out of here. I do not... well, I cannot afford to sack my Azumarill at this stage. It's not a great idea. So what I am going to do here is I'm very tempted to go into my Excadrill because I do have Mold Breaker on this thing, and I could get that. I'm wondering if I want to save that to kind of catch him off guard later. I know that my Excadrill is faster than his Tyranitar, so I suppose I could switch it in on that later. For now, I'm just going to go into my Ditto, and I can pretty much tank whatever he does at me. And sure enough, he just goes for the Willow there, so that's fine. We can actually see what set this guy's running. Okay, right, he's running the Resto Chesto. Okay. Alright, well, that clears that up, so... Okay, that's nice then. Okay, well, we can just go straight for a Volt Switch here. We've got absolutely nothing to fear. So if he's staying in, what's that suggest to me? Well, he's obviously not going for the Hydro Pump on the Rotom, because that's really silly. And really, really ballsy. Sure enough, he goes for Volt Switch here, so we actually block this quite nicely. So the good play for him at this stage would probably be to sack his Alakazam and take the Earthquake. As much as I would like to set up a Sword Stance here and proceed to kind of mini sweep him, I can't really afford to, because again, this Alakazam is faster than me, so I am just going to go straight for the Earthquake here. If he stays in, he dies, so that is fine with me. And yeah, sure enough, so he's just going to die horribly there. People forget that Excadrill does run Mold Breaker. Again, it's one of the things that actually shines really well in Gen 6. So now we've got to deal with this Alakazam again. Right, so what's it going to want to do to us? Okay, so the Focus Blast he could go for, my Klefki can take that. If he goes for the Psychic, my Klefki can take that. And if he does have an Energy Bolt, my Klefki can take that. The only thing I can't take is if he has the Hidden Power Fire, which I'm slightly worried he might. I've really got to kind of call this though. And I would appreciate having the Excadrill, just considering that you can take out that Tyranitar quite well. Although, even with that said, if I was to sack something at this point, no, I don't want to sack something at this point. I've really got to think for a second. What's the best play for him at this point? He switched directly into his Alakazam. Obviously, it's some sort of fodder anyway, so he's not too worried. We saw it with his Mamoswine before, that he's not worried, like, or scared about just foddering off. So, he could just go straight for the Psychic. So, I'm gonna go for my Ditto. Here. If he does do a double bluff here, then that means we're in an okay scenario, because we did go to Ditto. We'll just copy whatever the hell he switched into. But I'm not too sure what he's actually going to want to go for here. He actually goes for the Focus Blast there, so okay, so that indicates to me he does not have the Hidden Power Fire. And actually seeing it set here, it definitely indicates to me he does not have the Hidden Power Fire, so that is fine. What's the ideal move that we actually want to go for here? Probably the Dazzling Gleam, considering that it does neutral coverage to everything on his team. It's actually super effective against two of his guys. So yeah, let's just go straight for that. And our Ditto's actually going to be able to see in our day. We actually have Magic Guard here as well, which means that we are going to be able to live that there. So that is quite nice. Now, okay, so he'd switch in his Lucario now. This could still possibly be the Mega. He could be running the Mega Tyranitar. I'm not too sure still. Okay, so what are we going to want to do? Well, okay, so we do have the huge Fighting type resist on our Klefki here. I'm trying to think of what... Lucario does have access to Bone Rush now. He could be running a weird Earthquake set if he wanted. The question is, what do I want to do now? I'm thinking that if there was any time I was to switch in my Klefki, I think now would be a good time. Just because this is my physically defensive wall, this is what they generally run. This is actually the Mega here. And oh, okay, it's especially inclined as well. That's right. So, especially inclined Lucario. So that means he's definitely going to be running the Aura Sphere. He has Shadow Ball. He's revealed that. He might possibly have either the Hidden Power Ice or the Flash Cannon. And as the last move, I'm not too sure. He might just be running Extreme Speed. Okay, so we know that he has that. So what I'm going to do at this stage is I'm going to get a T-Wave off on him, because that means my Excadrill does not have to fear him. And he's actually going to switch into his Tyranitar at some point this stage. So we know that this is already like a kind of standard defensive Tyranitar, which means that's probably packing the Flamethrower. And the nice thing about this Klefki set is, because we have access to Substitute, it means that we can quite easily scout what he wants to do. So I'm just going to go straight for that. We may even get a bit of paralysis going here, but that's fine with me. So let's just kind of scout what he might actually want to do. Sure enough, we do actually get the paralysis here, so now we're behind a sub, which means that we can start initiating our Leopard 2.0 set. So let's go for that Klefki swag here. He is confused, he is paralyzed, he's actually going to go straight for the Fire Blast here. So okay, so we do know what he's actually going for here. So I'm going to guess this is actually a standard support Tyranitar of some sort, just because he's running the Fire Blast. Although, I could actually just scout him right away with my Ditto. And if I do have a fighting type move, that would be oh, sorry, it clicked off there. If I have a fighting type move right now, that would actually put me in a really good scenario because it means I could quite easily deal with that Lucario. I'm very inclined to do that at the moment. At the same time, I'm really tempted just to stall this guy and kind of predict the switch here. I'm going to go for a second sub and kind of bank on this. We do still have a bit of health. Sure enough, we get the paralysis here, so we're now behind a sub once again. Let's go for a foul play and let's start getting some damage off in this Tyranitar. And the way he's been playing so far, I'm expecting him to actually just stay in a while with this Tyranitar until he gets annoyed a bit. So what I'm kind of predicting here is the first time he hits himself in confusion, he's going to switch following that. Let's see if I'm right. I sure hope I am. I'm working on my prediction skills, people. I'm not. Okay, let's see. Come on. Clearly a thinking man. He could keep going for the Fire Blast, but he's not really in a great scenario here. It's kind of in his best interest to switch the hell out of there. And let's just get a foul play off. That's only 25%. That's not that great. Actually went for the crunch there, and that did actually manage to break us because he does have the attack boost there. So, okay, so we kind of know what he's going for. So, he has crunch, he has Fire Blast. I'm going to guess his Ice Beam then. And maybe Stone Edge? He doesn't. The Tyranitar, we haven't seen actually. Yeah, he has leftovers. This could be an Assault Vest Tyranitar, which would actually be interesting. That's the one Pokemon I've been meaning to try out as of late. An Assault Vest Tyranitar. So, okay, so maybe Stone Edge Crunch, Fire Blast, and Ice Beam. Well, my Azumarill does take every single one of those things. The thing is, just because I gave him the attack boost now, I'm slightly worried that my Azumarill may not take it all that well, and I still need my Azumarill to finish up this game. Like, I really, really do. He's gonna be so important. Okay, well, so he has the attack boost right now, so he's probably... Okay, I have no choice here. I do have to switch out to my Azumarill because it's the only thing that can really resist all of the attacks he could potentially throw at me. Sure enough, he goes for the Cruncher. I don't take that nicely. I'm not in a position where I can now get the Belly Drum off, but that's okay with me because he is paralyzed here. So it means that if we go straight for the Play Rough, we should be able to take him out. If he switches to his Lucario or even his Haxorus, he's not going to take it well, and we should be able to finish up with a subsequent Aqua Jet. So that's very nice. So, okay, come on, what are you going to do now? So... ideally for him, if I was in his scenario, what I would do is I would sack the Tyranitar and maybe go straight out into Lucario and bank in some sort of special, whatchamacallit, a Flash Cannon of some sort, because that might just be enough to take out this Azumarill, because the standard attacks that Tyranitar has definitely not going to be able to, and Haxorus just doesn't want to deal with it. It might be able to just wing it on an Earthquake, probably, well, it's just risky, really. So it really depends on what he wants to do now. He has a lot of possible predictions that he has to call. I'm just going to go straight for the aggressive route here, though, because again, Play Rough is going to do a truck ton of damage to whatever the hell he switches to. So it is ideal for me. And he's clearly just going to take his time about this, so that is fine. We can wait this out. So yeah. So let's see, depending on what he wants to do. The Lucario is still the try, because that's the only thing that's going to resist this Play Rough. It's the ideal switch for him at this moment. I can still get a decent amount of damage off, and I'm not too worried, considering that he probably does have the Aura Sphere, and I do still have a Ditto with a Choice Scarf, which means that I should be able to take that out nice and clean. So I'm not too worried. Sure enough, he's going to sack his Tyranitar here, so we are going to take that clean out with the Play Rough. Get a nice little bit of leftovers recovery there, so that is fine with me. Okay, so if we switch straight into his Lucario, ideally what I'm going to want to do is sack my Excadrill and then switch out to my Ditto to get some damage off on it. Because I'm not going to be able to take that out with an Aqua Jet from this range, and I could potentially lose my Azumarill, which is just not great. I do want to hold on to this guy. So okay, so he's going to go into Lucario here. Right, so what I'm going to do then... Ooh, I could actually get a T-Wave still off in this guy. I do still have Klefki. So I suppose the one thing on my team that's not really going to do much work at this stage is Excadrill, so I can kind of sack him as a scout here. He's not fast enough to actually do anything. And sure enough, he does actually have the Flash Cannon here, so I did predict that move there. So that is nice. So I'm just going to go straight for the Earthquake here. I do need to kind of sack this. Sure enough, he does have the Aura Sphere here, so that is fine. So what I can do now is I can just deal as much damage as I can. As long as I keep Klefki and Azumarill alive, I should be in a position where I can just finish off the game. So if I get a T-Wave off and whatever's left of his, I can then go for the superpower to Play Rough. So I'm going to go straight to my Ditto here, and we can just go straight for the Aura Sphere here. And he's going to have to switch. Oh, he's a nasty plot set. That's what he was running. Okay, right. You don't see these often, but yeah, that's a cool one. That's actually kind of coming back thanks to Mega Lucario, I guess. Just because of pure power of adaptability, like a nasty plot Aura Sphere and Flash Cannon. That's pretty cool. I'm just going to go straight for an Aura Sphere, though. Mega with a Choice Scarf. It's fantastic. And now he's only got his Haxorus left, so what we can just do here is we can afford to sack our Ditto, we can switch into our Klefki, T-Wave off on him, and then we can just finish off the game with a player off. So this should be GG right here. So let's just go for an Aura Sphere. Oh god, a crap ton of damage, dear god. Oh my god, that Haxorus probably didn't expect that. Okay, let's just go for another Aura Sphere here. Oh my god, we're still actually faster. Okay, that must have been an adamant Haxorus or something. Oh, we actually managed to clean it up so well there. But GG all the same. There's a lot of predictions going on now. This is kind of what the Gen 6 metagame is like now. Because even looking at the team compositions, like my team just couldn't really deal with some of those things. Particularly the Rotom, I just have so much trouble with that. But yeah, you can kind of really see how much prediction you really got to put into it. Because you just can't, you can't counter everything now. You can't build a team that's good enough for that. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like, I really do like this metagame, how it's shaping up because of that aspect. So let's move on to our second battle. Okay, and we've got a weird looking Sun team. I haven't seen that much Sun team in Gen 6 because Drought is of course nerfed. It only lasts 5 turns now. But this should be interesting. So the Houndoom's obviously the Mega here. You wouldn't be using it unless it was. So that's fine. Now that's probably a standard defensive Trevenant. It's what they generally run. So that I'm going to guess it's the Will-O-Wisp Leech Seed set. So that's perfectly fine, because we do actually have Klefki for that, and he counters that set in its entirety, so I'm fine with that. The Mamoswine then is probably just for Stealth Rocks. Yeah, like, that's definitely what that's for, just to get some hazard support, Ice type coverage, and ground. The Excadrill is definitely the spinner. I'm going to actually predict that that has an air balloon on it, just because nothing on this team really has Levitate. The Volcarona standard Quiver Dance set is what you generally get, which means just going off that and the fact that he only has one defensive Pokemon offensive form of Trevenant, I'm going to guess that's a defensive Ninetales in some aspect. So okay, so what do I want to lead with here? I'm really inclined to lead with the Klefki despite it being a Sun team. The reason being that if he leads with the Trevenant, I can set up all over its face. What I'm actually going to do here though is I'm going to lead straight with the Ditto and just kind of scout what his lead is. And we'll just kind of go from there. So he is going to lead with the Mamoswine here. So now we know exactly what his set is here. Okay, right. So yeah, it's just a standard Mamoswine set, really. Right. So we do have the Choice Scarf here. So we could just actually go straight for the Icicle Crash. He's probably just going to want to set up his Stealth Rocks. If he goes for the Ice Shard on me, I'm not too bothered. It shouldn't do too much damage if we learned that from the last battle. So I'm just going to go straight for that and just get a bit of chip off him. Oh, we actually got a flinch as well, so that's nice. And the fact that he didn't have any leftovers recovery there, that indicates to me that he was probably running a Sash. So just knowing this guy's set now, what do we going to want to switch to is the question. I'm very inclined to go to the Azumarill, but actually, wait, why am I inclined to go to that? I don't know. Sorry. This team doesn't really handle Mamoswines all that well. Excadrill's probably the best thing for it, but even then, not that great. Well, okay, so we know that just from the amount of damage that we did to him with Icicle Crash, if he attacks us in some form, we can take it well. So I'm just going to go straight for another Icicle Crash and get some more chip damage off of him. So that's probably best play I can make right now. Oh, I'm so sorry that I got the double flinch, and I feel bad when this happens. Let's just go for another Icicle Crash. Can we get another flinch off? No, okay. I probably should have actually been going for Earthquake. Yeah, that actually did a lot more damage. I don't know why I was doing that. Well, no matter. We can finish this thing off with an Icicle Crash. And sure enough, he's going to switch to his Ninetales now. So, okay, that's fine. I actually did a decent amount of damage to it. So maybe that's specially defensive Ninetales there. I'm not entirely sure. Okay, well, we do have the perfect Ninetales counter in the form of Tyranitar. The only thing I'm slightly worried about is if it has Hypnosis, because it just gets a bit messy to deal with that. But what I am going to do here is I am just going to chance the sleep here. I am just going to go straight for it. Oh no, the Will-O-Wisp! Oh no! Oh, that was bad. That's bad. Oh no. Ooh. Okay, well that's terrible. That's really bad. Okay, well we are in a scenario right about now where we have super effective coverage on everything on his team. So despite the burn, we should be okay. We actually should. So I'm going to go straight for a Dragon Dance just to make sure we have enough speed. We do have super effective coverage on everything now. So even despite that... Oh, God, he has the Roar as well. Okay, right. Right, okay. So the Aqua Jet is quite obvious here, so he probably doesn't expect the Belly Drum. Even with the Belly Drum, dear God, we have fantastic coverage. A Play Rough even on the Trevenant, that should be enough just to take it out. So I'm going to go straight for the Belly Drum. He could be really ballsy here if he wants and go for the Roar. Sure enough, he is going to switch straight to Trevenant here. So we should be able to do just enough with that. Did he get Leftovers recovery there? Buffeted by the Sandstorm, he didn't regain it. Possibly run the Rocky Helmet then? Not too sure. We can go straight for a player off here though, and we should be able to take him clean out. Just depending on what he does. Oh, he actually goes for the Curse here. I'm surprised that he's faster. He has the Citrus Berry there. Well, okay, well, we still take him clean out. That does cut our spree with a Zoom Roll quite short just because of that Curse. But we're still in a position where we can clean take out 2 of his guys, which I'm very tempted to actually go for it. Even with the Sun, he's not going to live. And actually, because we got Leftovers recovery before Curse here, we are going to actually have an additional spree. Well, an additional Aqua Jet or some sort with our Zoom Roll. Now, the thing is, I don't want a Zoom Roll to die to this Curse, because an Aqua Jet on anything on his team is just going to be handy, and we could even have a clean Aqua Jet sweeper. I know that we do have to kind of forego our Belly Drum here with a ×4 attack, but we don't need the ×4 attack because we can actually take out everything on his team. So I'm not terribly worried about that. So maybe in the off chance that he's defensive Ninetales, kind of banking on the Sun and his defensive investment to live a hit. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to switch back out to my Tyranitar and get a bit more chip off on him with the Sandstorm. He actually goes for the Protect here, so that works fine. Now we saw that he went for the Roar last time on my Tyranitar, so with that in mind, the question is, do I want to anticipate the Roar, or is he going to predict me to take him to go for the Roar and thus switch? So what I'm going to do here, I'm actually going to go straight for the Stone Edge, because I can still do a fair amount of damage to whatever the hell Switch is in. Like, it is super effective on pretty much everything. The Excadrill is probably running an Air Balloon, so we can get that popped, which is just handy for our own Ditto. It means that we can sweep him out later. And I'm actually going to go for the Stone Edge here. And, oh, that sucks. Oh well, what are you going to do? Stone Miss. I've been having no luck with Stone Edges. I'm like, dear God. Okay, right, so Klefki's not ideal here, just because he definitely has a flamethrower or something. Like, it's a Ninetales, if he doesn't have flamethrower, he's doing something wrong. So what am I going to want to do here? Probably just switch straight out to the Tyranitar again, although he could just go straight for another Roar. But it is burnt at this point. I am just going to kind of send it out. He's actually going to go for another Protect here, so we have a second opportunity for the Stone Edge, which I'm so inclined to predict that Excadrill switch and just go straight for that Brick Break and deal a crap ton of damage to him. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it for the reason that, yeah, I'm just gonna do it. Because if he stays in with his Ninetales, we already know that he's gonna go straight for the Roar. So I'm not too worried. So I'm just gonna go straight for the Brick Break and deal a lot of damage. Even if the Houndoom switches in on this is gonna take a lot of damage. And he's not gonna switch in a Volcarona on a Tyranitar. Like, again, I don't think he's that ballsy. And actually, we probably should have gone for the Dragonite set, because Protect did fail there. That's a mistake on my part. I shouldn't have done that. So my apologies there. I'm just going to go straight for another Brick Break, though. It doesn't matter that he knows that I'm going to go for it. Again, I don't think he's going to be so ballsy as to go switch in a Volcarona directly on this thing. And yeah, sure enough, you're going to go for the Mammoth here, so we can take that clean out. So that's fine. That's just another Pokemon down on his team. Nonetheless, fodder for him, which is good for us. And so yeah, that's gone now. So ideally for him, he's going to switch straight into his Excadrill and try and finish me off with an Earthquake. Or, okay, he's just going to set up the Sun again. Well, I don't. He has Protect, he has Roar. Okay, he has Protect and Roar. What was his other attacks? He definitely has a Flamethrower of some sort. Did he go? Yeah, Will-O-Wisp. Okay, so we know his complete set at this point. So with that in mind, honestly, our Ditto is the ideal thing to do it, considering he can't really touch us with a lot of things, and we will get the Roar in before him, which means that we could just set up a small bit of switch advantage for us, I guess. Although it doesn't really work, does it? You know, okay, so I'm going to go to the Ditto then, and okay, we can just kind of play from this. Oh, he's actually going to go straight for the Flamethrower this time. Okay, so he's not fooling about anymore. Right, okay. Right, so we need to do something about this. Okay, I do want to keep my Ditto just because having the Choice Scarf, and again with the Excadrill, that's going to be very handy for taking it out. And plus, if the Volcarona ends up Quiver Dance into Oblivion, I can copy all its changes and I can just take it clean out again. So I do want to keep this Ditto. If anything was to be sacked at this stage, it's the burnt Tyranitar, so I am going to have to just go for that. And he's actually going to switch out to his Houndoom here. Okay, right. So he's most definitely faster than me here. So I'm just going to go straight for the Stone Edge there. He's definitely going to Mega Evolution. He's got no reason not to. I'm just going to go straight for the Stone Edge, and if I get some damage off, that's great. If I don't, I'm not too bothered. Yeah, so this will give us a nice setup, particularly for our Azumarill, who can then kind of just start going for a couple of Aqua Jets. Like, a Houndoom isn't exactly the bulkiest of things. I don't think its Mega even gets that much extra defense. So yeah, we can kind of just spam Aqua Jets from here. He's actually going to go for the Flamethrower, which actually isn't enough to take us out. Mega Tyranitar, bulky monster, and again, we are burnt here, so that's not going to take him out. And that's fine with me. I'm just going to go for a Brick Break just in the off chance he switches to the Excadrill just to wear out my last turn of burn. He actually goes back to his Ninetales here. Again, this still works fine. We're going to die to the burn anyway. And his Houndoom's in a stage now where it's just going to die from Aqua Jet. His Excadrill, we should be fine to do it. His Volcarona, again, we should be okay. Right, so we do just need to play about with this thing now. This thing is going to be problematic. Right, so I'm going to start off with my Jolteon because we haven't used it yet, and we can actually just go for a bit of a Yawn stall in here. What he's probably going to do is just go for Protect first, just to scout what I want to do. So with that in mind, just because he's going to probably go for the Protect, I'm just going to go straight for the Shadow Ball. If he does stay in, I get a bit of damage off him, which is great. But I am just kind of predicting that Protect Scout. And, oh, he does stay in. Okay, so he's going for the Willow? Oh, no, he actually missed that there. Okay, right, well, that's fine with me. Okay, well, let's not beat about the bush anymore. Dear God, I sound like my granddad when I say that. Okay, remind me never to say that again, sorry. Okay, alright, well, this time predicting him just to do something. Let's just go for the Yawn. So this is going to give us a nice amount of switch advantage here. So we could go for the Protect here, but if he does, then he's going to fall asleep. So what I'm just going to do here is... Ooh, he could actually just sack his Houndoom at this point, which would probably be a very good play on his part. I'm very tempted to go just for the Volt Switch, but no, I'm just going to go straight for another Shadow Ball. And he actually goes to the Extra this time, and it does have the Balloon, so this is fantastic news for our Ditto. Okay, so that's fine. Oh, you've got a special defense drop. Probably not enough to take it out, though. But yeah, we did get a nice amount of damage off on that, though. His Ninetales is now getting into range as well, where, again, our Azumarill is really just in a good position to sweep. We just need to switch it in safely at some point now. Okay, so he's got this Excadrill. What is he going to want to do next? Well, ideally, he's just going to go straight for the Earthquake. And this is actually a really good switch in for my own Excadrill, because... yeah, like, he's just probably going to go for the Earthquake, and I do have my Balloon. And nothing on his team can actually take an Earthquake well. So I'm just safe to go for it here. He's probably just going to sack his Houndoom. That's probably the best play for him. Unless he decides that he wants to sack his Excadrill. Although, yeah, like, his Excadrill is still in relatively good shape. Does to counter a couple of things. Although, in fairness, well, yeah, he actually does need it for the Klefki, I guess. It's a bit of the idea of the fire types. I'm not really sure. He can sack either his Excadrill or his Houndoom here. Doesn't really matter, it's up to him to decide. He's gonna sack the Excadrill, that's fine, it's dealt with. So we just got that out of the way now, and now we're in just a fantastic position just to switch. Well, just to sweep as soon as we possibly can. We're still in a very strong position as well with this Excadrill, because we are faster, but we should be faster than the Ninetales. Although I don't want to chance it. That's the thing, I don't want to risk this. Because there's a possibility we won't be faster, but at the same time, what use is our Excadrill really? Because we're up against 3 fire types here. How much use is this Excadrill gonna really be? We should probably just chance the speed at this point. Let's just go straight for an Earthquake. Just go for it. Why not? Because again, we're up against 3 fire types. This Excadrill is really not that useful anymore. I can afford to sack it. And we are actually indeed faster. Dear God, that crit Earthquake, that must have done a lot of damage. Okay, so his Ninetales is gone now, which means that he is going to lose the Sun soon. So, yeah, he's actually going to go straight for the Volcarona now. Now, we do have Rock Sign, so I am just going to go straight for it. That should be a clean one-hit KO, because it's a ×4. Oh, no! We missed it! Oh, God, he took his clean out. Oh, no. Oh, that's bad. That's really bad. Okay, well, So all I need to do at this stage is get as much chip damage off on this Volcarona, and I need to get rid of the sun as soon as I can, and as soon as we're in that position, I can just go straight for the Azumarill and just kind of try to devastate him. Okay, so Klefki is probably not going to be that much use, although we could get a T-Wave off in some, which I suppose might be handy. I have no reason not to go for my Jolteon right now, though, and just go for a Volt Switch, because I can do a decent amount of damage to this, and if he switches to his Houndoom, it dies. So, yeah, let's just go straight for a Volt Switch and do what we can. If he stays in that either case he's going to Quiver Dance or just go straight for the Fiery Dance. In that case, I'm going to have to sack something, which sucks a bit, but what are you going to do? Yeah, he's staying in. We actually did a nice amount of damage to him. That's very handy, because it means that we can just kind of go straight back into our Jolteon in a second. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do that play, actually. So I'm going to go straight out into my Ditto here, and we're going to Imposter him. He actually goes for Quiver Dance here. Now, we do have Sun, which is a nice thing, and he is running the leftover set. And, oh, he has a Roost. He has the Roost. Okay. Well, that complicates things just a tad. For what I was actually planning, that makes it just a bit more difficult. I'm just going to go straight for the Fiery Dance here. Sure enough, he's actually going to go for Fiery Dance himself. He's now, we had a Speed tie there because he had the boost, so that's fine. I really just I need to get rid of this Sun just to ensure that the Aqua Jet has enough damage to actually take him out. Okay, so if I was to T-Wave anything on his team right now, it would probably be the Volcarona, so let us go into our Klefki, and oh, I can substitute stall the Sun, actually, just a tad here. If he goes to the Quiver Dance here, I'm not too bothered, because it means I can start going for the T-Wave and the Swagger, and get off all that kind of good stuff. And yeah, we've actually gotten rid of the Sun now, so that's absolutely fantastic. Let's go for a T-Wave on our second attack here, and just completely cripple this Volcarona. We don't have to worry. Actually, wait, why do I need to cripple the Volcarona? Actually, wait, cancel that! No, I have Aqua Jet! What am I doing? Oh, no. Oh, okay, well, I guess it doesn't matter. But that was a really stupid play. I apologize, I'm making stupid plays. I guess I've just been out of Pokemon for a while. Let's just go for this Swagger there. And okay, he's now confused. He's bulked himself up. And Aqua Jet's still an Aqua Jet. It's still going to do a nice amount of damage to him. Okay, let's just go straight for a foul play. Now, I really don't need this Klefki at this point. Houndoom doesn't have any form of priority, I do believe, so I don't have to worry about it. So I'm just going to start for a foul play and just see how much I can do. He's confused, he's paralyzed. There's no reason for me to sub because I don't want to keep this Klefki in here. It's not that helpful to me. I'm just going to go straight for the foul play. He may even just switch directly to the Houndoom. And oh no, he snapped out of it. That Bug Buzz dealt a fair amount of damage as well. But we do have a foul play, which, oh, that actually dealt a lot of damage. I'm actually quite surprised by that. Okay, well, he might go for the Roost in this turn, so what I'm just going to do, I can just afford to go for another Swagger, and I guess just confuse him. I got no reason not to. If he hits himself in confusion, he'll do a nice amount of damage like that. And we know that we're faster than him, which means our next foul play, we can actually take him out. Oh, okay, actually, he's suddenly faster than us. Oh, we must have had some sort of speed. Do we have a speed tie? Oh, yeah, okay, we had a speed tie or something going there, because I had Swagger first, the first round. Oh, I don't even know. But yeah, okay, we're pretty much going to win the game now. We have our Azumarill, still with our Aqua Jet. We still have our Klefki. We actually didn't... Surprisingly, with the Sun team, with the Tree Fire Pokemon, the Azumarill is the one thing we really just don't use. That's just weird. Okay, let's just T-Wave this thing and just kind of cripple it. Oh, God. Oh, I feel bad for this guy. Let's kill him with the foul play. Come on, Klefki. Jingle, jingle, motherfucker. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I saw a cartoon for that. It was hilarious. Not often, I swear. I apologize. But yeah, that's going to be the game there. We did remarkable work with our Klefki right there. Oh, God. I love those keys. And yeah, I really love this team. I'm having a lot of fun with it. So that's going to be it for this week's Showdown Sunday. Hope you guys enjoyed the return to it. I've been putting this off for a while, but I'm really, really happy that I've gotten back to it. Just in time for Christmas as well. It's a Christmas miracle that Showdown Sunday has returned. Actually, don't view it as that. That's probably the worst Christmas present you're going to get all year. But anyway, Showdown Sunday is back. Hope you guys enjoy it. You can expect to see a new team next week, and I'll be showing off something new. There should be a competitive bio as well. I am actually working on them. I've just been kind of thinking as to how I'm going to do the format. In regards to this team in particular, I wasn't really sure what I want to do the bio on. Because most of the things, the bios have been already done. Like, you've seen plenty of Pellyjet coverage. I've gone on and on about the just awesomeness of Dragon Dance Tyranitar. Klefki as well has seen a lot of coverage, and again, there's not much I can do with the Ditto or the Excadrill, Maybe Yawn and Jolteon. Oh, that's not really the basis for a video, just Yawn and Jolteon. But anyways, yeah. I've had a lot of fun with this team. I am going to keep using it. I am actually breeding this team up in my X and Y game itself. I'm putting a lot of hard work into that. So yes, hope you guys enjoyed Showdown Sunday, and I'll see you with next week's video then. Should be some Team Fortress 2 during the week, and a TF2 at Christmas of some sort. So goodbye, and thank you so much for watching. And just a quick, actually, last note. I will post a separate video at some point, giving out my friend code and my Animal Crossing Dream Suite address, because people have been kind of asking for that, and I am an avid player of my Nintendo 3DS, so I will post a separate video for that. You can all post your codes, and I'll add you all, as many as I can. So yeah, goodbye, and thank you for watching.